Okay, so once again, it's an inequality, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to factor this first, like that, and then instead of saying it's greater than 0, you say it's equal to 0, like this. Okay. All right. Now this is easy, right? This is what you just finished doing for the quiz. So if this is equal to 0, how much will that equal? Positive 3. X equals 3. And how much will that equal? X equals -2. Okay, easy enough. You see, that's simple. It's all stuff you understand so far. Okay. Now here's the thing. So there are 2 points you want to look at. The point 3 and the point -2 on the number line, right? Okay, now let me ask you this. It's greater than. So what kind of point are you going to put there? A hollow one or a filled in one? A hollow. Very good. That's what you're going to see me doing now. Very good. Here's a hollow. Here's a hollow at 3, and here's a hollow at -2. Okay, now here's what you do next. You're going to go to the -2, and you have to pick a number either to the right or to the left of the -2. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, first period, here's what they chose. They chose, let's pick -1. But no, -1's to the right of -2. What you're going to do is you're going to take -1 and put it into the original equation. You're going to take -1 and put it into the original equation. Okay? All right, so here I'm doing that, right? Here's -1 into x squared, right? So that's -1 squared. How much is -1 squared? 1. You got it. How much is minus -1? Positive 1. Positive 1 is right. Okay? Okay, so we get positive 1. There's that. Yep, here's that. There you go. And then we got -6, right? So look what we got. We got 1 plus 1 minus 6 is greater than 0. Okay. So now how much is 1 plus 1 minus 6? -4. -4 is greater than 0. All right, now you tell me this. Is that true or is that false? False. That's right. That's false. Okay, exactly. That's what we're finding out. That's false. Okay, so here's the thing. If that's the case, then would you shade to the right of this where it's false? Or would you shade to the left of this where it's true? To the left of it where it's true, right? The good points are over here to the left of it, because this area is the false area, right? Okay, so that's what's happening. You're going to see me shade now. Look at there. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to go to 3 and pick a point either to the right or to the left of it, right? Okay, well, we're going to the left because, once again, it's already set up, right? So first period said, let's go to a 2 to the left of it, okay? Okay, so now you're going to see me erase the board, okay? I'm erasing the board, okay? And now I'm going to put 2 in for x, right? So how much is 2 squared? 4. We're going to see 2 squared is 4. Okay, there we go. And then minus 2, right? Minus 6, right? Okay, so how much is 4 minus 2 minus 6? -4. Okay, is -4 greater than 0? Is -4 greater than 0? And the answer is no, false, right? So then that means we want to shade to the left or to the right? To the right. Obviously, this is the right's the true area, and that's what you're going to see. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now we're ready to put down our answer. Okay, so our answer is going to be what? That x is what to -2? Less than, over here, it's less than, x is less than -2. Okay, okay, and then x is what to 3? Greater than 3, and there's your answer right there. You got it. It is, it's very simple to do this. Okay, so 2x squared, okay, okay, plus x minus 10 is equal to 0. Okay, so what are you going to do? We're going to factor. 2 times -10 is -20. 1, 2 numbers multiplied give you -20 and added give you positive 1. Yeah, -4 and 5. You guys know this already, right? Okay, so now we're going to factor this, right? So let's just throw it up here. Here comes the factor. Okay, what you guys just finished doing on the quiz, right? So you got this, and I'll stop stuff now. You guys are used to doing this. This is where we already solved it, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to the number line and put a, now what kind of a circle, hollow or filled in? This is a filled in, this is an equal sign. Put a filled in at 2 and put a filled in at -5/2, okay? That's what you're going to see. There's a filled in at 2, there's a filled in at -5/2. Okay, now, here's the thing. There's a point that makes 100% sense to choose here. Okay, so if you go to 2, and you have to pick a point to the right or to the left of 2, which one would you pick? Which one makes a lot of sense to choose? Okay, to the left, and which one would you choose? And now, let me tell you something. You're not going to see that in the film at the beginning. When I press the buttons, it's not going to show up. Because it took first, third, and second, and suddenly somebody said, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. Which is the one that makes the most sense to choose? Because it's the easiest. Okay? One's easy, but well, something's even easier than one. 0 makes the total 100% sense here. Put a 0. Put a 0 in the original problem. Here comes the original problem, right? Okay, there's the original problem. Okay? Put a 0 in for this. What's 2 times, what's 0 squared? 0. What's 0 times 2? 0. Plus 0 minus 10. What's 0 plus 0 minus 10? -10. Is -10 less than or equal to 0? Yes, it is, right? So that means whether would you shade, to the left or to the right? To the left, right? But you see what happens? You're going to put 0 in again, yes? Okay, so with this one right here, we're going to put, it's the same way, zero's the same one. Oh my gosh. Zero's the same one. So if 0 goes in there, will it be true?
Yes.
If 0 goes in there and it's true, or you're going to shade to the right or to the left. So what's going to happen? The 2 shades are going to run into each other, right? They're going to run into each other. And that's why it's like 0 makes 100% sense. Now, you're not going to see that. They chose 1 to begin with. They chose 1, they got this. Okay, and then suddenly somebody said, oh my gosh, what if I had chosen 0 instead? You would have taken care of both of them at the same time. Exactly right. 0 takes care of both. And it's the easiest to do. And sure enough, they both run into each other. Okay? So that's what's done. It just got all of a sudden clicked in their head. And now, in the second period, learn this trick and everybody else, right? Okay, now, you got to write down this answer. So you're going to write down x. X is what now? X is 1 to 2. Less than or equal to 2. X is 1 to -5/2. Greater than or equal to. Right, so that's what you're going to see up on the board. X is less than or equal to 2, but greater than or equal to -5/2. So there's the answer. You get it. There's a mistake. What I mean, sorry. I forgot. You're right. It is. Sorry, my fault. I forgot. I was looking at the phone. I made a mistake when I put it up here. You're okay. You guys are right. My fault. Messed up. It is +4 minus 1. My fault. Messed up on that. Okay? Alright, so the x is going to equal what? -4, right? Okay, and x is going to equal 1. Alright, so now tell me this. Go to -4 and 1, hollow or filled in. Okay, so hollows are going there, so let's put hollows up there. Here are my hollows, okay? Hollow, okay. Alright, and then here we go. Here's the original problem. Now here we go. What's the smart number to put in there? 0. Put several in there, right? Here comes the several. Okay, so we get that, right? Alright, and then here we go. 0 plus 0 minus 4 is -4. So -4 is -4 less than 0. Yes. So where are you going to shade? Okay, yeah. To the left for the 1 and to the right for the -4. Are they going to run into each other?
Yes.
They're going to run into each other. You got it. You understand what's happening. Yes. There you go. All right, now write down the answer. Here comes the answer. You guys got it. And it could be easy. That's it. Give us a second to write that down. That's how easy this is. Okay. What's that? Yeah. Instead of, when they run into, you're going to draw it like that. When they're going the opposite, right? Then you got to do them separate, right? There you go. You understand? That's how it works. Okay. Two parts of the book, right? But once again, it's because of these number lines. You're gonna just do it on separate piece of paper, and you're gonna hand that stuff to me. And it's like, it's quick and easy. You guys can get that done just in minutes. You'll get that stuff done. Okay. So we're good. And what's Wednesday again? What are we doing on Wednesday? College Day. Okay. All right. Now here's what.